Some women spend way too much time taking care of everybody but themselves. Not that I know this firsthand, but I read about it on the internet. That's why today on Bitchin' Kitchen, we're gonna be cooking up a selfish spread. Because ladies, it's time to spoil yourself. G-style. First up on the menu, crispy Panko shrimp with strawberry aioli. A freaky flavor combination that'll knock your fishnets off. Guaranteed. The main, Thai-Italian sirloin spring roll served with a peanut dipping sauce loaded with blood orange. For a sweet and salty dessert, flaky Camembert feuilletee drizzled with apricot syrup and topped with spiced pistachio. Panos is gonna teach us how to devein shrimp like a pro.
Yeah, because the vein is just a nice way of saying the colon.
Hey, Hans speaks of the benefits of raw foods.
Raw vegetables contain essential
Who with a body like that? Who's listening? The spice agent is gonna yap about cinnamon.
Nadia, why must you always command and never ask?
Because I'm Nadia G, and this is Bitchin' Kitchen. There was a time where men were money makers, women were caretakers, and dinosaurs roamed the freaking earth. Things were simple back then. Gino would bring home the bacon, and Jeanette would fry it up with a little bit of garlic, throw in a few spaghetti. Wow, that made me really hungry. What was my point again? Oh yeah, the selfish spread. The point is, it ain't like that anymore. Last time I checked, Jeanette's not only paying her fair share, but she upped the bacon for pancetta, made carbonara for 4, and then loaded the stinking dishwasher. Yeah, okay. Not to mention homework, lunches. Ladies, ladies, ladies. So if you're tired of carrying the familia on your shoulders, this episode is for you. Get your husband a babysitter, ship your kids to a sports bar, because it's time to cook up a succulent, fuss-free dinner devoted to numero uno. Let's get cooking. Because you only deserve the best, we're gonna make a bitchin' spin on one of the most extravagant items on a restaurant menu, surf and turf. And here I've got some beautiful butterfly tiger shrimp. First things first, we'll heat a 1/4 inch of canola oil on medium-high heat. While this heats up, let's get cracking on coating these shrimp. Dunk them in beaten egg, and then cover them in crispy panko. Simple enough, huh? Now you only want to fry these shrimp for about 1 minute per side. You'll know they're ready when they start curving in on themselves. So keep an eye on them because shrimp can be fussy. Overcook them and they become rubbery. Undercook them and they're all gelatinous. Then again, don't mind me, some people love raw shrimp. Sweet Evi or I'ma Evi they call it. Sweet my ass and I'ma kick yours. 1 minute per side. Check it. On that note, here's Panos to tell us more about shrimp.
Mads, there's nothing like tiger shrimp when you want to treat yourself. These plump beauties have a sweet, tender flesh that puts the sp back into spoil, bro. But remember, when you're eating shrimp, you want to remove the veins, its digestive system. Because it's not right to digest a digestive system. That's like putting a mirror in a mirror. And if you stare long enough, you go crazy. So, grab a short, sharp knife and make a 1/4 inch slit from the tip to the tail. And remove the black stuff. Now, it's nice to treat yourself to a shrimp. But to all the boys out there, you gotta remember to spoil your woman every once in a while. My wife, Angie, she mentioned to me how much she loves seafood. So last month, our anniversary, bro, I bought her 32 pounds of crustaceans, a variety pack. She loved that gift so much that she asked me to guard it at night because she was afraid someone was gonna steal it. So for the last couple of weeks, she asked me to sleep downstairs and I've been keeping an ear open for the shellfish robbers. I'm telling you, bro, she's a bit paranoid.
Thanks, Panos. When we get back, we're gonna whip up a creamy strawberry aioli, and I'm gonna teach you how to say no by saying yes. Was that wink sleazy? Because it felt a little sleazy.
Yeah, it's kind of just a little bit.
Hey, welcome back to the selfish spread. Some people call the act of placing your needs before those of others selfish. Me? I call it logic. Oh, if you don't take care of yourself, who else is gonna do it? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you shouldn't lend a helping hand every once in a while. But if you find yourself missing an arm, you gotta learn how to say no. And I found the best way to say no is by saying yes. Hear me out. Let's say your teenage daughter wants a ride to her friend Mary's house. Again. Instead of saying no and letting her guilt trip you, say, yes, Bella, I'm so happy you asked. I've been meaning to talk to you and Mary about abstinence for a while now, and this seems like the perfect opportunity. Let me grab my anatomy book. She'll be on a bus faster than you can pronounce prophylactic. Another example. Let's say your husband's gotten used to you packing him a cute little lunch every day, and you're sick of it. Instead of sending him out the door disgruntled and empty-handed, make him an even bigger lunch. I'm talking a 3-course vegan special loaded with tofu, sprouts, and texturized vegetable protein. Every once in a while, ask him if he wants a nice slice of soy cheese, just to keep the wound fresh. Let's finish these shrimp. Look at this. Look at this! So crisp and succulent. It's time to make our strawberry aioli. Now some of you may be saying to yourselves, shrimp with strawberry sauce? What the Hey, watch your language. See, strawberries are both sweet and tart, which heighten the natural sweetness of the shrimp, and then contrast it with a bit of fruity tang. Let's do it. In a bowl, combine 3 tablespoons of Japanese mayonnaise. This stuff's got rice wine vinegar, which works really well with seafood. You can find Japanese mayonnaise at a Japanese grocery store. Then add 3 tablespoons of condensed milk. This is gonna provide a sweet, creamy kick. Next, we'll add a bunch of fresh strawberries into a food processor and puree. Let's plate this dish. Here I got some gorgeous sprouts. Gonna add a little bit of color. Oh, and a couple of these gorgeous tiger shrimp. Just because you're cooking for yourself doesn't mean you can't get fancy, huh?
Fancy.
This strawberry puree smells so good.
Good.
Woo!
Shrimp. Really good. Shrimp.
This is absolutely fantastic. Golden crisp shrimp, this sweet and creamy aioli, and then the fruitiness of the strawberry with just the perfect amount of tang. But you don't have to take my word for it. Check out these testimonials.
Holy crap, this really works.
Jeez, my sweater's really itchy.
Told you! This appetizer is not only simple, but it's freaking gourmet. Remember, don't be afraid to try new things. Yes is a beautiful word. Next up on the menu, Thai Italian sirloin spring rolls served with a peanut sauce loaded with zesty Sicilian blood orange. Here, I've got a gorgeous piece of sirloin. Hey, we're spoiling ourselves, so go for the good stuff. Why you always gotta deny yourself? I know money doesn't grow on trees, but it's all about where you spend it. Does little Johnny really need the latest PlayStation, the hippest sneakers, those braces? Enough with the pampering. It's no good for him anyways. Take your hard-earned money and spend it on yourself for once. As for his overbite, don't worry about it. It builds character. We'll slice this sirloin into thin strips. Now let's move on to the marinade. We'll pop this beef in a bowl. Give my hands a quick rinse. And top it off with about 3 tablespoons of low-sodium tamari, a tablespoon of maple syrup, crushed clove of garlic, a crushed knob of fresh ginger. You see all that juice? This is a great trick to get the ginger juice out. Throw in a Thai chili for heat, and a bunch of fresh torn basil. We'll mix it up. And pop it in the fridge for about 15-20 minutes. This stuff is pretty potent, so you don't need to marinate it for an eternity. On to the veggies. Julienne, 1 sweet bell pepper, a carrot, a scallion, and a baby cucumber. Make sure you get the seeds out, they're all soggy. And finally, some sun-dried tomatoes. Speaking of sun-dried, here's Hans to tell us more about raw veggies. Hans?
Miss G, there's nothing like the crunch. Raw vegetables. Did you know that cooked veggies have 25% less vitamins? That means that raw veggies are 75% more vitaminized. Eating raw veggies is a surefire way to spoil your body with intense vitaminizations. You want to eat at least 5.
Thanks, Hans. When we get back, we'll finish up these Thai Italian spring rolls and schkoff. Welcome back to the Selfish Spread, where we're spoiling ourselves with some bitchin' grub. Because if your family's running you ragged, always remember that there may not be an I in team, but there sure is an M and an E. Me! On to our rockalicious peanut dipping sauce. In a bowl, add 3 tablespoons of organic peanut butter, a tablespoon of water, and the juice of a Sicilian blood orange. Look at that color. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, if you can't find Sicilian blood oranges, use regular oranges. What do I care? At first, you're gonna be mixing this stuff, and it'll seem like it'll never come together. Then, about 30 seconds into it, tsakata, it'll emulsify, and you'll be like, whoa, she's right. That Nadia, man, she's really got great hair. But yeah. Throw in a teaspoon of aged balsamic, minimum 7 years old. This is the legal age for balsamic to work. And personally, I also apply this rule to kids. What is it with coddled whippersnappers these days? When I was a kid, I worked hard for my money, sweeping up after my wretched sisters. No, wait a minute. That's Cinderella. Never mind. Add a tablespoon of maple syrup, throw in a pinch of hot chili flakes, and mix some more. Let's finish this beef, huh? Heat a pan on medium-high, throw in a tablespoon of canola oil, and cook the beef for a couple of minutes. You don't want to overcook it, just a few minutes. It's a nice piece of sirloin, you want to keep it juicy. That's good enough for me. Take it off the heat. All right, our beef is ready, our dipping sauce and veggies are good to go. Let's put these babies together. Here I've got some rice paper. Not only is the texture amazing, all delicate and chewy, but you gotta admit, there's just something awesome about an edible container. I get mesmerized by taco shells, cannolis. Then again, I partied hard back in the day, huh? Okay, lay down a clean tea towel, get a bowl filled with lukewarm water, and dip these in one at a time for about 15 seconds. And place it on the tea towel. I like to give it the old flip, just to really dry it off. Okay, now mentally divide this rice paper into 4 bands. In the second band, throw on some Boston lettuce, spine removed, and the rest of our ingredients in nice little rows. Now you're gonna be tempted to overstuff this thing because all these ingredients look so good, but don't do it. It's better to eat 4 delicate spring rolls than to have to schkoff the ingredients off your lap once it explodes. Roll the last band up over your ingredients, tuck in the sides, and delicately roll up. Beautiful. Let's plate this dish. The insides are always so cute, huh? This spring roll is amazing. That beef marinated in ginger and fresh garlic, wow. And all these fresh veggies and this dipping sauce, it's just too much. The tangy balsamic, creamy peanut butter. You can credit yourself for this one. But chances are, you can also credit yourself for people taking advantage of you. Oh yeah. Ladies, you gotta admit, there's a very thin line between being a martyr and a control freak. So what if your boyfriend leaves a few spots when he does the dishes, or your kids don't mop up perfectly? Relax. By the time Junior's 3, he'll know to wipe down the moldings. So take a deep breath, put your feet up on a streaky coffee table. Who cares? And while you're at it, make them feel good about what they're doing. There's nothing like positive reinforcement to get your brood to pitch in. And if not, always remember that there are other uses for a wooden spoon. Dessert time! Those who know me know I love a fuss-free dessert. They also know that cotton balls freak me out. When we get back, we're gonna whip up a simple dessert based on a gourmet cheese platter, so stay hungry. Welcome back to Bitchin' Kitchen's Selfish Spread. Because if you don't make yourself happy, how are you supposed to make anybody else happy? That's like thinking you can whip up hazelnut soufflés for a party at 12 and you've never even seen a freaking ramekin. It's a confusing example, huh? On with the show! We're gonna be making Camembert pastry drizzled with apricot syrup and topped with spiced pistachios. Sound good? Good. First, we'll heat a pan on medium and throw in half a cup of water and half a cup of raw sugar. We'll bring it to a simmer, and while that gets going, we'll dice some apricots. We'll scat these into our simple syrup, turn the heat down to medium-low, and add a quarter cup of apricot nectar, a tablespoon of apricot jam, the seeds of 1 vanilla bean, a small pinch of sea salt, and a small pinch of cinnamon. Let it reduce for about 10 minutes.
Wait. You're using cinnamon today? That's Yechezkel's favorite spice. By the way, Nadia, you look totach today. And for those of you who don't understand, means chazak. Now, cinnamon is very popular. And in Ra'anana, it's the most popular. Almost as popular as Samantha Fox! Now, I will name you a few recipes that use cinnamon just so you have an idea of how popular it is. You have chicken, beef, stew, salad, banana, soup, sushi, nalain, pie, cake, window, transformato, turkey, cheese, pasta, 7-Up, pizza, pizza pocket, feta, honey, cashews, blankets, cereal, milk, pepper, pastrami, hot dog, coleslaw, business, lasagna, hummus, trina, Spanish mackerel, snake, and last but not least, my favorite, yogurt. I don't even need to tell you that the best cinnamon is found in my hometown of Ra'anana. You probably already read it in the September issue of Vanity Fair. So once again, this Yechezkel Mizrahi. What spicy talk?
Thanks,
Yechezkel Mizrahi.
Let's strain this apricot syrup. We're doing this because we're gonna put these sweet, juicy chunks of apricot right into our pastry. Here I've got some phyllo dough. What we're gonna do is we're gonna line a baking sheet with some parchment paper. Now, let's butter our phyllo dough. Then, cut our phyllo pastry into 3-inch wide strips. Place them on the parchment paper and add 1 tablespoon of rindless Camembert. You can also opt for its milder cousin Brie, or its dirty uncle, Gorgonzola. Add a teaspoon of our apricot bits and fold. Brush them with a bit more butter and bake them in a 375-degree oven for about 18 minutes. While these bake, let's talk about me. See, I'm an expert egoist, and although that may not sound right, it feels right. And to be honest with you, if it weren't for me putting my needs first, I wouldn't be here, scoffing with you. Ladies, I do what I want, when I want, how I want. People don't expect things from me, they ask. And every day I do a little something to make me feel good. Whether it's buy a new pair of heels, take a nice relaxing bath, abuse a crew member, it's all about the little things. Now granted, I'm an only child, so I know no other way. I never had to share, be sympathetic. And although I reside on the opposite side of the spectrum, a little bit of selfishness is a good thing. Too much selfishness, on the other hand, even better. Let's crush some nuts. Oh! In a food processor, throw in half a cup of pistachios, a generous pinch of sea salt, and a small pinch of cayenne pepper. And pulse to roughly chop. Nice. Let's plate this dish. Buon appetit! This one didn't really turn out. Just kidding! It's freaking amazing! Melted buttery Camembert, these sweet and tangy apricots. Salty, spicy pistachios. Do these up with a nice glass of robust red wine, and salud to you! And there you have it, a succulent selfish spread. In under 22 edited minutes, we made a bitchin' spin on surf and turf. Panko shrimp with strawberry aioli, Thai Italian spring rolls, and apricot camembert pastries. 3 simple recipes that are dedicated to making you feel special because you deserve it. Oh, as the head of the family, you gotta keep yours sane. So take some time for yourself. Delegate more. And if your family's still driving you nuts, here's Panos' wife Angie with an ancient Greek secret for inner peace.
Pada θυμίσου, λίγο ούζο πάει μακριά.
Angie! How much longer do I have to watch these crustaceans?
Κάτσε εκεί που είσαι!
Yep. Alla prossima!